Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we have something that's very cool to look at for you guys, and this is something that I never thought I would actually own. However, Todd Gaintliff, who is a viewer of this channel, and I apologize to him if I screwed up his name, but he recently offered this to me for a very good deal, and I definitely couldn't pass it up, as I do enjoy buying the occasional Chronicle Collectibles piece, but this is the Chronicle Collectibles Jurassic Park Velociraptor egg, and it's something that I thought was definitely really quite cool, and I would like to take a look at, but never unfortunately had the opportunity to purchase it. I really love the box. This box art is fantastic, honestly. You've got the beautiful Jurassic Park logo down there, then InGen and the egg here on the side, with of course the "You Bred Raptors" quote from Alan Grant. And then if we look at the other side, we have the same image that we saw on the previous side with the Velociraptor, along with the silhouette of the raptor kind of coming in. This time it is lacking the egg that we had seen on the other side, and then a little bit more of that mural that is in the background of Jurassic Park in the Visitor Center with Chronicle Collectibles logo down here. And then if we look at the very, very top, we've of course got the Jurassic Park logo there and some slash marks from said Velociraptor. So I'm really quite excited to take a look at this with you guys. So let's go ahead, break it open out of the box, and take a look at it right now. So here is the base, first of all, which does look really, really quite cool. And then here is the egg, which it's got a little hole here that we slide it into, if I could find it. There we go. So there is the overall set together, and it definitely looks really, really cool here in person. I am definitely quite impressed with the overall appearance to it. Has a beautiful, very high quality look to it with the Jurassic Park logo down there on the base. I would have preferred maybe a little more color to the Jurassic Park logo, but I think the logo actually works quite well due to this being a very muddy, kind of earthy type of a texture that you see there. And it would kind of probably look very similar to that if someone had dropped the Jurassic Park logo down in the dirt and the mud. It's going to look nice and weathered like it does look on the base, so I don't really mind that. Not having too much color to it, and definitely this set looks really cool overall, so let's go ahead and get a closer look at it right now. So looking at the egg itself, it definitely has a very nice appearance to it and really looks honestly just like the egg looked like in Jurassic Park, in my opinion, from what I can recall. It definitely has a very realistic look. It really does look, honestly, like a dinosaur egg when you're holding it in hand. And I do like the paint application that they've applied here. It's kind of a whitish coloration, but you can see hints of like a blue that kind of stripes through here and there. And I do recall that kind of on the dinosaur egg in the film. I do believe that is exactly how they looked. And as I turn it, you can really get an idea of how nice and natural looking that paint application looks. Of course, there isn't too much to it as far as the paint apps go. It kind of looks like it's, like I said, that whitish color. Then you've got that hint of blue, but they've kind of given like a wash of a gray that helps to bring out the detail and sculpt overall of the egg. And I think that was a really nice choice and helps to make the egg overall look very realistic for sure. Down here on the bottom, it primarily is one solid egg, but down here on the bottom you've got this little peg hole, which is where you have to slide the egg onto the base. So it's not a perfectly preserved raptor egg, of course, with the hole on the bottom, but I definitely think it's very appealing looking and really does look quite like the Jurassic Park Velociraptor egg. The size and everything feels right to me. It really does look like it's life size, so that's very, very nice looking as far as the egg goes. And then if we look at the base, you can see the base, like I said, is primarily like this muddy type of an appearance, an earthy type of an area, but I would say more like mud just due to the fact that it's got a very glossy look. Just the earth alone isn't going to have a glossy look like this, so I'm going to assume that it's meant to imply like a muddy type of a texture, and it really does look pretty genuine for the most part. I think that it doesn't look 100% real like mud would, but it really does look very, very close, and you've got lots of color variation with different browns and everything throughout, and I think it does look quite appealing, that's for sure. The overall sculpting of the base is really quite nice, and you can see kind of like some pebbles and stones throughout, lots of sculpt and detail in general in the earthy type texture of the mud and kind of the area where the egg is pushed down into. It really does look quite nice. It's been smoothed out a little bit there. Overall, I think they really did a great job on the base itself. And of course, you've got the Jurassic Park logo right there. It looks beautiful. Again, like I said, it has kind of a weathered appearance when it comes to sitting down in the dirt. Really, really beautiful looking. It does come up away from the base just slightly to help give it that beautiful appearance and kind of jump out at you a little bit. The underside does say Jurassic Park Velociraptor egg and has a beautiful Jurassic Park logo right there. Of course, Chronicle Collectibles logo down here at the bottom, and it's got some rubber here on the underside so that it stays put when you do set it down and it doesn't destroy your table or scratch it up or anything like that. Very, very professional looking, and honestly, much better than I expected it to look. As far as a size goes, for the base itself, as far as a length, you're going to see it at about 7¼ inches or around 19 centimeters, somewhere in that area. And then for a width, because it's in an oval shape similar to the egg actually, you've got it at about 6 inches wide or about 15, maybe 15.5 centimeters. If we actually put the egg on the base, and again we have to put the peg here inside the hole of the egg, which is kind of tough to do this without visually picking it up and looking at it. It does sit in there really quite nicely and stays put really beautifully. You can see I could shake it. It doesn't fall off. It can still move around in there, but with that peg it stays put quite nicely there. For a height on this, with the egg on the base, you'll see the egg at a height of 6¾ inches, somewhere in that range, almost 7 inches, or about 17.5 centimeters, somewhere in that range. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, and you can definitely see that the egg overall has some good size to it. It's pretty sizable, and Mr. Papo Rex, being a pretty large dinosaur figure, should help to give you a good idea of that. It's no slouch in the size department, and you are definitely getting quite a bit of bang for your buck if you do purchase this, because it overall is, like I said, pretty decently sized and looks really quite realistic for sure. So I love Jurassic Park collectibles. Anything to do with Jurassic Park 1 through 3 or Jurassic World, I'm all about it. I love all of the films. There hasn't been a single one yet that I would really consider a bad film. A lot of people might argue with me and say Jurassic Park 3 was pretty bad, but honestly, I loved it to death, along with every one of the other films. So anytime I get anything that's a Jurassic Park collectible that I can acquire, I would love to own that, that's for sure. And this Jurassic Park Velociraptor egg from Chronicle Collectibles is really, really beautiful, honestly, in person, and I'm really quite happy now to have this here in my collection. Thanks to, again, Todd Gaintliff, who did send this to me, who allowed me to buy it from him for a pretty darn good price, a much more discounted price than the original price. I do believe to buy this brand new it is about $200 US, so it is a little pricey, but honestly it's still a really nice looking set overall. Unfortunately, I think that most websites are actually sold out of it by now. You may be able to buy it on BigBadToyStore.com or potentially on Sideshow, but I don't know for sure if they still have it in stock. So there is a downside of it now being sold out, but I also got this a lot later than the release date. This was out for quite a while now, and I just recently had it offered to me for a good price, like I said, from Todd, and I jumped on it because I really did want to get a hold of this. And anytime I can buy something from Chronicle at a discounted price, I am interested, because they do make some very cool stuff. It's just that a lot of the time I feel like it's a good bit too pricey for me and I can't really afford it. But this egg definitely is quite nice, honestly. I think the egg overall really does look quite beautifully replicated of the Velociraptor egg that we see in the film, and it really does look quite realistic in person. It really does honestly look like a real egg. It also has a beautiful paint application to it, really nice, really natural looking, and I love the fact that, again, they've hit it with that kind of grayish type of a wash to bring out the details so beautifully, and that I think really helps to make the egg overall look very genuine and very realistic. The base itself is also very high quality, really well sculpted, and really quite nicely painted. It generally does look quite beautifully like wet mud. I think they did a very good job of replicating that. It doesn't look 100% real, but I would say probably about 90% real, so it's very, very close. Definitely looks really nice in person, and again, the Jurassic Park logo on there is just the icing on the cake. Overall looks beautiful, really nicely weathered. Everything on this really does look fantastic. So if you do want to buy this, like I said, you can check some of those websites. It may be on there. You may be able to score one of these still before they're sold out. They actually have another version coming out. It may actually be out by now, I don't know. that has a hatching Velociraptor, which maybe I'll get a hold of at some point. I would love to take a look at that as well and kind of add it to the collection of Velociraptor eggs here and maybe have a nest full of Velociraptor eggs. But regardless, that's another day, that's another video. This looks really cool. I definitely dig it quite a bit. So again, search one out if you are interested because they honestly look great in person. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of any future videos, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.